In this tutorial, I'll show you how you can make simple but powerful edits to your photos in Capture One Express Fujifilm. Then we'll continue working on the photo in Capture One to show you what more you can do with the additional tools on offer. First, to get a bit more room, I'll hide the browser using the keyboard shortcut Command B. In Express, a great starting point will be the Quick Tool tab here. As you can see, the photo is very dark, so I'll increase the exposure first to brighten this up. Let's also brighten the midtones using the brightness slider, and I'll add a bit more contrast as well. Let's get some more detail back in those highlights around the sky, and let's add some more detail in those shadows as well. Using the black slider, I can also bring down the darkest tones even further to add a bit more punch. Now I'll add some mid-tone contrast by using the clarity slider as well. I'd like to adjust the crop now, so if I go to my crop tool and long press, I can bring up different aspect ratios to choose from. So I'll select 2:3, and now I can just adjust that crop like so. To see the final crop, I can just press Enter. So I'm happy with those edits. Let's look at our photo straight out of camera. And now with a few quick adjustments. Now let's see how we could edit this photo even further using Capture One. First, I'd like to add a radial mask to darken the edges and draw your eye through that street. I'll choose the radial cursor tool in the Layers tool, and now I can click and hold on the photo and start dragging to add my mask. And I can reposition it by simply dragging. Let's go to the brightness slider, and I'll just decrease this to create a nice vignette effect. If I want to increase the feather, I can just drag the outer edge so it's nice and natural. Let's rename this layer Vignette. Now I'd like to add a color grade. So I'll add a new filled layer and just rename this. Let's go to the Color Tool tab and open up the Color Balance tool. I'd like to enhance the warm tones that are already in the photo, so I'll start in the Master tab and change the overall hue to be slightly warmer. Let's also warm up the shadows. So somewhere around there looks good. And I'll darken them using the Luma slider to add a bit more contrast. Okay, so now I'd like to make the sky color also feel warmer. So I'll go to my Color Editor tool and select the Direct Color Editor. Now I'll choose a tone I'd like to edit in the sky. And I'll just move the hue slider to warm this up. Finally, let's reduce the overall saturation, so I'll go back to my Exposure tool tab and just decrease this slightly. To make this color grade effect nice and subtle, let's also reduce the opacity of the layer. So I'm happy with those adjustments. Here is the photo straight out of camera. Now with our edits in Express. And finally, with our further adjustments using Capture One.